rushed over as soon as I got your message. Are you okay? Here, give me a hug. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. I know it was stupid. Don't worry, I know more than anybody how stupid it is. I've done it so many times. But you're gonna be okay. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it here. Don't worry. It's gonna be alright. Trust me. Everybody makes mistakes. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to just forget about things like your health and your safety. But luckily, you're gonna be okay. Trust me on this. Yeah. Oh, the last time it happened to me, it didn't go away for a whole month. It was just maddening. But eventually it did go away, okay? And you've not been to too many concerts, so you're definitely gonna be fine. Yeah, trust me. Yeah. I wouldn't tell you anything false. It's absolutely true. You just have to give it time. That's the most important thing. You've got to just wait it out. And don't worry too much. Just try to keep your mind on other things. The mistake I made was always going into a quiet room, and I would cut my hands over my ears like this. And I would listen and listen and see if there was any difference hour to hour or day after day. And it just made things so much worse because I was constantly comparing how it was the day before. And that's a bad idea. You just really have to wait it out. Yeah. Yeah. A whole month. It was crazy. It was the entire month. It slowly was diminishing, but I mean, still, I thought it was never really going to fully go away. So you've got to be extra careful. You've got to always be on top of it to make sure that you're protecting your hearing. They even had earplugs that were available to the people, but I didn't. I was drinking tequila, so I didn't even think about it. During the opening band, I just sat slamming tequila shots for the whole hour. So by the time the band started, I just stood there right up close to the front, and they had giant walls of speakers. It was probably, the decibel level was extremely high. They had way too many speakers for that small space. There were towers of them hanging off the ceiling. So I don't know how many hundreds of speakers they had cranked to full volume. So I got out of there and I realized that I was way too old for this type of behavior, and it seriously took a whole month for me to get better. Yeah, it drove me absolutely crazy. And there's no escape. I know how you feel. No, I do know. I definitely know how you feel. It seems like there's nowhere to escape to. But you're gonna be okay. The real trouble, the scariest thing, is if you're exposed to a lot of percussive sounds. So some of the servicemen and women who have to deal with the problem, they've been around really, really high decibel, like big ammunition shells. Yeah, and they suffer a lot more than me and you. So, and that can be a lifelong problem. Yeah, I mean, the caliber on those things is just huge, and then there's so many explosions and loud percussive noises like those Eskimos. Yeah, the native people in Alaska and some of the Arctic regions, they rely on guns to catch their meat, and they've got lifelong damage after using guns without hearing protection, so there's a lot of movements in place to make sure they have hearing protection in Alaska. Yeah. But you're still really young. You've not really been exposed to too many situations like that, so you're going to be okay. I mean, naturally it occurs anyway, but as you get older, you just sort of learn to accept things like that. So if it it develops later in life, it's not really that big of a deal, but it seems like a really bad crisis right now. I understand. I know exactly what you're feeling. I do. Trust me. I even went to concerts that weren't even any good. and I was damaging my hearing the entire time I was at those shows. And it wasn't even bands that I wanted to see, so. And even the bands I did want to see, you can enjoy it more if you have earplugs in. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You can enjoy the music more because you're not paranoid for one thing, and also it stabilizes and equalizes it a little bit so that the bass frequencies aren't, you can still hear the bass, but it's not like, the mix isn't really muddy. Like if the engineer has done a bad job of mixing, it'll sort of just even it out a little bit if you wear earplugs, and it makes it more enjoyable. Yeah. Yeah, it's you gotta keep in mind that music's one of the most amazing things in life, and you can't be afraid to go and enjoy it, but you've got to take steps to really make sure that you're protecting yourself. So yeah, every time it went away. Yeah. Well, I used to shoot guns a lot when I was growing up, and my dad was completely deaf. Yeah, before he died, like he wrote it into his journals. Yeah. He was really upset about it because he had hearing aids in both ears, and if he didn't have those in, he couldn't hear anything, but it was from a lifetime of shooting and working in industrial factory environments. And back then, I mean, nobody ever really knew about using earplugs, or they didn't have the technology to make really good ones that have a high rating. So yeah, so I mean, it's better these days. We're really lucky that we live in a world where you can just for a couple bucks buy some earplugs and really, really protect yourself. Yeah, shooting is the worst, like I was mentioning. So especially if you ever go out and you're shooting guns and somebody has like a high caliber gun, even a handgun, you've got to be certain that even before the very first shot, you've got your earplugs put in. Yeah. Yeah. Don't try not to worry about it. Really, you can drive yourself crazy, but if you just wait it out, I think you're gonna be okay. Yeah. In fact, like medical science doesn't even recognize the problem until either 6 months or a year after you've had the issue. So if you wait, so that's a long time. I know, it's just one day. So you'll notice a marked change tomorrow probably, but if not, in a couple days you'll be fine. Yeah. Oh yeah, really, yeah. I mean, for them to, I guess, put it in your medical record, it's gotta go for an entire year. Yeah, non-stop, maddening sort of thing. But from a concert, and since you've not been exposed to too many concerts, you're gonna be okay. Yeah, don't try not to worry about it. But watch out, you've got to start now. You've really got to start taking care of yourself early. Yeah, because for me, I can't do any yard work like use a lawnmower or go to the movies or anything without earplugs. Well, you should use them anyway, no matter what, if you're around high decibels. Yeah, but I mean, like, especially now for me, if I accidentally don't, like if I go to a movie, like I had to watch the second Hobbit movie the other day with earplugs in. Actually, every movie I go to, I wear earplugs, and you can still hear it. The problem in today's world is that everybody turns the volume all the way up at the clubs, and even if you go to see a speaker or if you go to the movies or anything. And if I don't protect my hearing now, after having suffered a lot of damage, then I've got to suffer for a couple of days with ringing that's more than the usual amount of ringing I have to deal with. So it's a really clear difference just after a couple seconds of exposure for me. But you can avoid that now if you really start being careful and diligent. Yeah, it feels muffled. I know you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But like if I'm around something just for a little while, it gets like this awful muffled feeling that doesn't go away for hours, and then the ringing will go on for hours and days. Yeah, it depends on the amount of intensity of the noise, like the decibel level. and the amount of time that you're exposed to it. So, like I was playing miniature golf the other day, and they had like a loud basketball, sort of an arcade game, and it was attached to a speaker box, and they kept cranking up the music every once in a while. And it was just a couple of seconds of like pop music, dance music. But it was a big amphitheater, so I just kind of kept my head turned away from it. And I even felt the sensation, like the feeling that the muffling was about to start developing. So luckily I wasn't around it for very long, and I didn't have to suffer. But that paranoia is always there now. Like, you just gotta be super careful, because the world we live in, you're just exposed to terrible noise pollution everywhere. So it becomes especially important when you expose yourself to beautiful things like music. Yeah, it was a good concert though. Yeah, I knew it would be, and that opening band was good. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I wanted to see him a couple years ago, but I couldn't. I was not in town. I wasn't living in town right then. Yeah, it was intense. Did they bring the opening band back up to help with the last songs? Yeah, that's good. That's pretty awesome. Well, I mean, just think about it. You had a pretty good time, but if you would have, if you'd have been thinking about it, it could have been just like a greatest time, and then no after effects that make you feel bad about it. So in the future, you'll always know you can just make sure to just protect yourself so you can have a good time, and then when you get finished, you don't have like this regret and paranoia. Yeah, I know. Well, sometimes they don't have earplugs that they offer, so you gotta take them every time. Like toilet paper, none of that stuff works. Cigarette, like filters, none of that works. You gotta use the modern stuff. Yeah, you can buy them anywhere. Well, you don't have to worry about that because I brought you a little gift. Yeah, let me get it out of my bag. Alright, check it out. I've got these spare because I've got so many at home. I brought you this whole box. This should last you all year. Yeah, when you re-up, get Flints. I like Flints the best. These are going to last you, and look at this awesome purple color too. So the most important thing to do is to look for 33, especially if you're going to be at a loud concert, because that's the highest rating they can give it. That's the most protection, is a 33. Yeah, noise reduction rating. Yeah, 33. There's still like 35 pairs in here. So this can really last you, but you gotta wear them. You gotta promise you're gonna wear them. Okay, you promise, right? All right. Yeah. But I've also got to get you to promise you'll put them in correctly. Yeah, there's a couple steps, but this is a good lesson. You can learn how to do it really fast, and then you'll never forget. Yeah, it's like riding a bike, definitely. Yeah. So what you do is you take the earplug and you roll it down. You've got to roll it. You don't just pitch it. You just sort of roll it until it's a little bitty tube. Yeah, so it's really small. And press it. You got to use a new pair every time. And then you reach over with your hand and lift your ear up. But you can't just pull it straight up. You got to lift it out too. So you pull it up and then out away from your head like this. And then you've got your earplug into a tight little, like, rolled down bundle. And then you spear it in there. You don't have to be afraid to kind of make sure you push it in so that the base of it is like pretty far in. Yeah, I mean, I push it in basically just as far as it'll go. And you've got a little bitty like ridge in your ear. Everybody's ear is different. Like one of mine is more narrow. But like if you've got it speared up, it gives it a little bit of structural integrity, and you can push it and you can feel it kind of go around that bend, and it goes down into your ear canal better, because you want the base of it like flush with your ear. You can, I mean, even though it's a beautiful purple color, so deep, like you can't really even really tell it unless somebody's standing right next to you. So yeah, and there's nothing embarrassing about it. All you're doing is protecting yourself. It's the best thing you could ever do. It's actually really attractive to see somebody wearing earplugs because they care about their health and safety. That's one thing about your hearing. Once it's gone, it never comes back. Like the damage, science doesn't know how to fix it. Yeah. But you're gonna be, you probably damaged it, but don't worry about that because you've got a lot of time left and you're gonna bounce back. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, who knows? It's such a strange design. Yeah, the little cells. There's little cells in your ear that are like, they stand straight up like hairs. And then when you're exposed to loud noise, they start getting gnarled and they start bending over. Isn't it incredible? There's a lot of incredible things about our bodies, but this is one of the strangest ones, right? Music and audio, sorts of medical stuff is very strange. Physics and audio and everything. So they get all gnarled up and then they slowly start standing back up. And then if you hear that noise that keeps on going, that's because your brain is sort of creating a phantom noise to replace the noise that's missing because those little hairs aren't sending those signals anymore. Yeah. But that's why percussive noise is so bad, because it gives it a jarring sort of an effect, and those little hairs will go. Yeah. But I mean, they respond. That we don't will it to happen. They just respond like that, just like your heart beats or your lungs work. It's just the magic of your body doing this, doing all this beautiful stuff on its own. So be sure to do that, and when you pull them out, like the other day, even if a siren or an ambulance is going by and I'm in the car, I know that the decibel level can get a little high, so I get paranoid, even if I'm in the car and I cover my ears. It's pretty bad. I mean, even if people are like getting in and out of my car and they're slamming the door, I'll try to subtly cover my ears, because sometimes if somebody slams the door really hard in the car, that woomph, that percussive sort of a woomph, it can make me really upset. Like I just get more irritated than anything. But sometimes it's led to me just feeling like, symptoms. Yeah. So, but you're really far away from that. I mean, that's after a long road. That's after a long, hard road of consistently damaging myself. And yeah, you're nowhere near that. You just don't want to get right up next to the speakers. I know your seats were pretty far back, right? Yeah, well, that's the good thing about having seats that weren't right up front. Yeah, though, it's hard to know. I mean, a lot of people just don't know, but you can take comfort knowing that so many people are dealing with the same problem, that it's just part of our design and the way that our bodies work. So it's nothing really scary about that in particular. It just happens to be the way it is. So that's just what happens. It's just the way it is. So. Oh yeah, I was going to mention, when you pull your earplugs out, that's the same thing, because you don't want that pressure to change really, really fast. So if you've got them pretty embedded, pretty deep, and when you're finished, you have to really softly and slowly twist them a little bit to sort of break that seal really slowly and pull them out really slowly, because if you just grab them and yank them out, you can damage your eardrum. You can like bust it. I think there have been some famous musicians who people came behind them and cupped their ears, and this was a prank in earlier generations. This was a prank that's not really done anymore, but people would come up behind somebody and cup their ears like that, and the pressure change is just supposed to shock them or make them upset, but it can bust your eardrums. Yeah, you can seriously damage your organs, and you got to protect every one of your organs, because there's a lot of things in our environment now that we're not really designed to handle. Human beings, we developed so fast and created these unsavory types of environments so fast that it's all built up around us, and now our bodies are, they just can't react fast enough. They still get damaged. Yeah, use them every time. honest, you would. Especially when you go to, even if you go to a basement concert or a rock show. Because those amps, like I got an amp, it was only 100 watts, but it was a huge speaker box, and 100 watts doesn't sound like much because they probably push 10,000 watts through some of those concert venues. But if you crank up a 100-watt amp all the way, it's definitely got enough power to damage your hearing forever. And yeah, that's why one of my ears is worse off than the other one, because I was always playing and learning those heavy metal riffs, and then the amp would be on one ear more than the other one, no matter how I sat. So yeah, I'm glad you feel. Yeah, don't worry too much about it. I'm glad you feel better. Yeah. People from all around the world, every age group, every culture, they all deal with it. So I think in about a week you're going to be totally okay, but just keep calling me. You can call me every day and ask questions or tell me how you're doing. Yeah. Well, I do have to get going. I got to be at work. I wanted to rush over though. I left as soon as I got the message. I was in the shower. Yeah, traffic was pretty bad. Yeah, definitely traffic was pretty bad. Well, I've got one more thing for you. I didn't mention this yet. Alright. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, here you go. Let me grab it for you. Check it out. Don't worry, I've got another pair. That's right. I brought you some earmuffs too, some big ones. These are nice. You can keep these, yeah. Don't worry about giving them back. It's not a borrowing situation. You can keep them. They're a lot more convenient for things like mowing the yard. Yeah, it's fast and easy. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, just hang them up. They were hanging on a hook, but I got a new pair. Well, the thing is, these aren't 33s, and I wanted to get 33s, so I think I got a pair of 32s. These protect really, really, really well. So, sometimes. Like for me, I would go to a concert and always double up if I could. Well, I saw Weird Al a few months ago, and it was kind of on the quieter side of extremely loud, so I just used earplugs and I was fine. Yeah, but like if I was going to go to that show that caused me to have the trouble for a whole month, I would definitely have worn both. Yeah, and it's actually probably a fashion statement. It probably would have taken off. Yeah, these are good ones. They're really good ones. Well, I know your birthday's coming up, so I just thought I would. Well, what's better than a functional gift, right? Something you can actually use and get use out of. Yeah. Well, I would say if you're gonna go shoot, like if you're gonna shoot guns, you probably want to wear both. Definitely, especially if you go to an indoor range. Indoor ranges can be a little bit louder. Like my local range, I like to go at night, but after for the last hour that they're open, they let people bring in big caliber rifles. It feels like the whole room shaking. You can feel the explosion of each round going off. So I try to avoid going when that's happening. Not that I don't like it. It's just that I'm trying to do things to protect myself. So yeah, I'd say if you're going to an extremely loud concert venue, or if you're going to shoot big caliber guns, any gun really. But it's so convenient. Like if you're just going to mow the yard, you don't have to worry about earplugs. You got to make sure it's seated really good though. Make sure it's around like your ears. Yeah. You can feel it. They're good. They're a good pair. I didn't use them very much, so they're not worn out or anything. They fit right in my pocket. Like if I'm going to do yard work or landscaping, I've got like big cargo pockets. I just put them right in there. And if I need them, I pull them out. Yeah. I used to have the dingiest like earbud little pouch, and I keep earplugs in my on my keychain. Yeah. So gotta replace them every time though. That's why I gave you the whole box, because if you have 2 or 3 pairs, like one weekend I had to use the same pair of earplugs. All weekend it was terrible, because they lose their elasticity, they stop being as effective. So if I use earplugs, I throw them away. I wouldn't use them more than once if I were you. Yeah, just another little bit of advice. Because, well, I mean, if you really rely on them and you want to get the ultimate protection, I would toss them, but maybe use them maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times at the max, and that would be all in one session, probably like in one day. If you're just taking breaks, probably, yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm just trying to take care of you. Yeah, that's really gonna help. I mean, if you wear them out, you might have to get another pair later, but I don't really see that happening. So they're made pretty well. Well, I gotta go. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta leave. But take it easy. Just keep on thinking good thoughts. Don't get yourself isolated in a room and start trying to figure out if it's getting better or not. Just really just try to just chill out for 2 or 3 days, and I think you'll be okay. Yeah, there's no need to really worry too much. If it bothers you when you're trying to sleep, just get a little bitty fan and put it on low. You don't want the fan to be so loud that it's causing you trouble too. But just something like a gentle white noise. Actually, you should get on YouTube and find my favorite is like tarps with raindrops hitting the tarps, or like a rainstorm, or like a babbling brook or something, or a wind storm. You find out what you like, but that's good to relax with anyway, even if you don't have symptoms. No problem. Yeah, you just gotta make sure you use it and just watch out in the future. Just sort of anticipate when something bad's gonna happen, and do things to protect yourself. That's it. That's what I'm here for. Actually, I'll call you tonight, okay? I think I get off, I think 9:30, so I'll call you about 9:45. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh, here, give me a hug. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yep. Well, I'll check in on you later, so, yeah, take it easy.